doing a keynote is always really interesting in that, you know, it's something, if I am honest, part of you doesn't want to do, right? You know, you're always a little bit nervous beforehand, and then you do it, and actually always the kind of audience is on your side, you know? You're just talking about the experiences that you've had, and I think coming to develop, lots of other developers are here. I've all been through the same things, you know, and you see, oh, that's getting a laugh, that's getting, you know, you could see certain things resonating, and suddenly you're like, actually, this isn't so bad. Now I'm just having a conversation with people. So it's actually really nice. You spend normally a few hours beforehand thinking, why did I sign up to this? And then it's lovely, you know, just to have that, and also to have it over with, where some people come up and chat to you. Really nice experience. So No Man's Sky is this big kind of procedurally generated universe. It's a bit of a crazy game, right? It's almost like it was designed by a child, that you can go out and, you know, be places that no one's ever been before. And we've seen people discover loads of things, take screenshots. You know, that's one of my favorite things, is to see the screenshots that people take, you know, almost like they're on holiday, you know, sending back postcards, right? And weirdly, people feel a real connection to the things that they find. You know, I love that. They talk about, you know, printing them out and putting them on their wall, almost like they've been there, you know, they've been on holiday. The thing that really gets me these days is we added the ability for people to make things in the game, so they can build their own little habitats, houses, colonies, or whatever. And that's been something that I never really expected from the game, but is one of my favorite things now, is to see the things people have made themselves. There's something lovely about kind of landing on a planet, knowing no one's ever been there before, you know, and no one's ever experienced it before. But then you go over a hill and you're like, oh no, somebody has been here and they've built this thing, and walking around in it, even if it's not particularly well built or exciting or whatever, there's just something nice, you know, you've made a genuine little discovery. We launched the game a couple of years ago, and the thing that we're working on at the moment is bringing the game to virtual reality. Something I've wanted to do for a long time. And it's, I don't know, it's very uniquely sci-fi, I think. The idea of, you've already got this game that's procedurally generated, there's a whole universe you can explore, and then the idea that you're going to put on, you know, a headset and, you know, like walk around in virtual reality. If, you know, 8-year-old me could see that I was working on that, I think he would just have a heart attack, right, with excitement. It's nuts. It's the perfect kind of sci-fi dream, right? It's also been hugely challenging for us, right? It's a very difficult thing to take this big, broad game and make it so that people can explore it with a headset and kind of, you know, virtual controllers and things like that. But I'm excited for it to come out, and it's been very kind of creatively driven. You know, it's something that we have wanted to work on for a long time, and it's almost been like our dessert, you know, like our pudding. Like we've worked on a lot of other features, and then this one was like, when we're done with all of that, then we can have time to have our nice little treat at the end, kind of thing. So we have this game, The Last Campfire, which just a couple of people on the team have been working on. It's a really lovely kind of personal game that they're making, and we wanted to encourage that within the studio. Like, we're making this big game, No Man's Sky, but we actually came from making quite small games. And I guess we didn't want to lose touch with that. We wanted some people on the studio to gain that experience, almost like you hear Pixar does it with directors and their short films. So they will get, you know, a person who's never directed a film before to make one of their shorts, and then that person will often then get the opportunity to make a much bigger game after that, a much bigger film after that. It's similarly for us, we want people to learn as much as we learned from making smaller games and seeing it from start to end and making your own decisions and doing something really personal for you. I wanted to keep that kind of freshness in the studio. So we started that up. Honestly, when we did, you know, we forgot that making games is really hard and they take a long time, and that actually when you get into something, even though in our minds we've decided to do something quite small, you can't help when you get personally involved to just want to make it bigger and better and, kind of, I don't know, more, add more depth and more feeling into it. So we found that exact thing. We started out on this journey, and Campfire is becoming kind of more than we expected, but it's still just a lovely personal little game that we're making, and we hope that really it's about what we learn from doing that and how we enjoy the craft of that more than anything else, really. There's lots of things going on, at the moment that are really exciting, actually. It makes me feel old to say this. Hello Games, the company that I founded, has been going for 10 years now, which, I don't know, I blinked and that happened. I don't know. In my head, we'd been going for about 3 years or something like that. And you gotta look up and you're like, wow, I've been going for a while. But this feels like one of the most exciting times in the industry. There's so much going on, whether it's, streaming or lots of competing different ways to release your game. One of the really interesting things is across the board, it feels like people are really interested, like publishers or stores or new platforms, in having new games and more games, and are actually helping to bring those games out and bring them to the forefront. So I'm really excited for, a year from now, 2 years from now, the games that are being started right now with that backing to try and help, expand a new platform or a new store or VR or whatever, where they end up. When you say to an interesting, talented group of people, okay, I'm going to take away some of the commercial worries from doing this and just go and make something interesting that will make people want to log on, that will make people want to come to this store, just, go crazy. And I know some of the developers who are doing that, and it's a really exciting thing. I'm really excited to see, interesting, weird things funded that would never normally get funded, would never normally see the light of day. I think that's really exciting. Develop Brighton is especially unique, right? There's a lovely thing where it's, whenever I come down, I kind of forget that it's on the seaside, and there's a lovely kind of relaxed tone that goes with that. Every time I come down to Brighton, I have these nice memories of, staggering out after the conference and then just feeling the fresh sea air, and then going for a walk along the beach with some other developers and just chatting and grabbing an ice cream or whatever. But as well as that, it's one of those unique moments where I think a lot of people kind of congregate, right? From all sorts of backgrounds in gaming. And I always have that moment, like I had this morning when I walk into the lobby, where I'm meeting people who live down the road from me, who have studios down the road from me, but I still haven't seen them for 2 or 3 years, right? And we have to, for some reason, wait till this, this moment once a year to meet. But it's a lovely thing, and it gets people together. And that's the most important thing for me, is actually the talks are cool, and the networking side of things is cool, but just having the opportunity to catch up with people that you've been meaning to catch up with, that you haven't seen in ages, and then chatting to them, and you get to find out a little bit more about how they're going or what they're working on or whatever. That's always the real excitement for me, is when your friend from another studio actually starts telling you that game that they're working on that they shouldn't tell you about really or whatever. That's my favorite bit.